Hey there! Welcome back to Video Games Club Podcast Episode 19. The game this week is called Ruiner, an isometric twin stick shooter set in a dystopian cyberpunk future. Wrangle your AI and let's get into the podcast. All right. So, Ruiner is the game that we played this week.
Yes.
And Ruiner is I think an interesting game that we're both going to disagree about, just to be it. Maybe some things we will agree with, but I think there will be a large amount that'll be a bit disagreeable.
Yeah.
But I'll start off by saying that I really liked this game, and I'm probably going to play it in the future because I had such a great time with it, and I'd like to find all the extra bits.
I liked it too, but it's just some things are a little annoying, you know?
Yeah. No, I don't disagree with that. I just the good definitely outshone the bad in this case for me, at least.
It does.
Sure. Anyway, it is how would you say, like a twin stick cyberpunk. I wouldn't even say twin stick shooter really, because
it is a twin stick shooter.
Yeah, but like a good half the game is like I wouldn't say they demand you play melee, but a good portion is like you should probably play melee.
It still technically is considered it would be considered a twin stick shooter.
Yeah, I guess that's
how it is.
Yeah, I guess that's the genre.
It's like it because how it is.
Yeah, no, I mean you're not wrong.
That's what the genre is like, you use WASD to move around, and then you
point and click with your mouse.
Yeah, like top down.
Yeah.
If you had a controller, you would be using both joysticks. Hence the name twin stick.
Yeah, I used the joystick at the very, very beginning, like through or the joystick, the controller through the tutorial. But I couldn't do it. I don't know.
I don't know. It's kind of like a like I used the controller once as well, but I like the movement of the controller, but the
targeting things,
the targeting of the mouse.
Yeah, I think I agree.
But it's I was kind of upset that I couldn't use both.
I mean, if they let you do both, you could.
It wouldn't. It would
just use one side of the controller, and then
I already tried, or I would have, because because of how the game looks, it's top down, and then if you rotated it 45 degrees.
Yeah, because it's not like strictly.
So if you hold up, you go diagonally upright.
Right. Yeah, because it's a 3D space, so
down.
They sort of give you a different
in my brain. It really fucks me up.
Well, I mean, I had the same issue with Dodo Peak last week, where it's the same sort of facing, and so
diagonal isometric garbage.
Yeah. Well, and the biggest reason why I had the problem with Dodo Peak last week was because you can only go 4 directions. I didn't have as much of a problem with it this time because you weren't restricted to 4 directions. You could go all 8,
Yeah, exactly.
And combine the two, but
normally games like this, when you would hold up, you would go on your screen physically upward, up.
Yeah. No, I understand what you're saying.
In this, it goes diagonal, and that was very difficult for me to grasp. I guess I don't know. It was screwing with my dodging and.
Yeah, I mean, this is not what is it called? This is not Binding of Isaac or the other one. Is it? It's not Gunfire Reborn. It's what's the other twin stick shooter roguelike that you really like?
Enter the Gungeon.
Yeah, Enter the Gungeon. I'm pretty sure those have basically a fully top down where up is up, down is down.
Where it's So then there's no diagonal tilt to it.
Yeah, exactly. But this
I can't think of another game that does have a diagonal tilt like
But the thing with those games is those games are like 2.5D, where like they're
Yeah,
not
yeah.
fully 2D, but they're not 3D games. Whereas Ruiner is definitely a 3D game. I believe it was built in Unreal. I could be wrong, obviously, but I'm like 90% sure it was built in Unreal. And yeah, like it's a 3D game. I don't know how else you would do it if you.
It is. It's a 3D game, just top down. That's all.
Yeah. I'm just saying I don't know how else you would do a 3D game like that without like making it this way. You know what I mean? Like unless you
Like
know of other 3D games that are top down that fully like up down left right, not at a tilt sort of thing.
Yeah,
Maybe I haven't played it. I don't really play twin stick shooters that much.
yeah.
Uh
Maybe we should.
I mean, yeah, you're not wrong.
And
Like twin
again,
stick shooters
most
tend
twin
to be
stick.
pretty good. I need to
And
use a
again,
mouse and keyboard. So
most twin stick shooters are roguelikes, and we can't do those
well, yeah, roguelikes are pretty hard to beat in a week. So
on this podcast.
um,
So
that being said, I guess we should pivot to you're about 2/3 of the way through the game. You're not fully
yeah,
done with
I
it.
haven't fully completed it. So,
But I will give you the out of we are currently in the like weeks leading up to and during holiday season. So
yeah, just date the video.
it's this is not going to come out at that
Who
time,
cares?
but it is holiday time, so it's very difficult for us to actually spend many hours a day playing the video game.
Yeah, other things need to happen.
Yeah, so if we don't finish these particular games, or we only get halfway through, it's cut us some slack. We're not gonna trash the game for you.
It was the week of Pokemon DLC 2 release. So
yeah, it was a bit stuck on that. Anyway, the graphics on this game, we'll talk about those. I think
they're really good.
The graphics and aesthetic really in this game are just like there is one genre that I always sleep on, even though like I know for a fact it's my favorite. One aesthetic that I love, even though like I find myself being drawn to like the fantasy styles and stuff like that. But
Cyberpunk.
I cannot get enough of Cyberpunk. Like
Cyberpunk is so cool.
It's
I mean, that's the idea, but like
yeah, still. But I just oh my god, like I need to I every time I play a Cyberpunk game, I always go like I need to play more games that are Cyberpunk.
Like,
but then
no kidding.
There aren't really that many that are good.
No.
I can't find them. Maybe I'm not looking hard enough. I don't know.
We have Cyberpunk 2077, but like
yeah, I mean I did reinstall that recently.
That is like an open world RPG. You gotta do whatever you do with that.
Yeah, I mean it's such a cool aesthetic with like just the whole like punk brand combined with like this futuristic age. Like dystopian. Usually it's like Chinese.
Yeah, weirdly.
Almost always you're like, oh yeah, this is the year 2050
or Japanese or
like
yeah,
like 2250 in Bangkok, which I'm pretty sure Bangkok is in Thailand, but like it's somewhere in the Southeast Asian area.
Yeah, that area, Japan, China, whatever.
Korea maybe. Anyway,
maybe they have the tech. I don't know.
This game's graphics are genuinely like top tier for what it does. The lighting is so realistic because there's fires burning out everywhere. You're blowing shit up. Like
I think it might be dynamic lighting.
Honestly. Yeah. Oh, for sure it is.
But the graphics, I think my game crashed at one point because I had too many things on the screen.
Oh, really?
Because like what happened was like it was in one area that I was on, and there was like a ring of enemies that like appeared, and I used my melee and killed them, and then
Whoopsie-doopsie.
the game just turned off.
Oh,
It like froze and then turned off. Didn't even give me like a crash report or anything. And I'm
that's
like,
awkward.
oh well, guess I'm gonna go play Pokemon.
You're like, wow, this game doesn't work. That sucks. Well, I mean, there's definitely
yeah, like,
lots
was-
of shaders and like particle effects and
Mhm.
like dynamic lighting for sure. I mean, I was just watching like one of the clips on the Epic Game Store of the mother fight, and like just some of the reflections of light in the paneling on the ground are just
Oh yeah,
like insane. Like what? Like just unreal lighting. Tons of neon effects in the city.
yeah.
Um
I mean,
it's
you
got
gotta
that
have neon lights in Cyberpunk,
yeah,
obviously.
it's just got that like amazing grungy, like really cool feeling to it just in general. I don't know. Uh I really
Yeah,
like it. They're
it's really
definitely
good.
top tier. As for the music, I mean, like
Uh,
good
yeah, I unfortunately, I guess I didn't really notice the music all that much because just the general game, like,
was pretty
combat
distracting for
noise
you.
was distracting. Well, the combat noise kind of drowned it out.
Well,
So
also you've got the girl basically talking in your ear like almost
true.
every moment of the game, which is I
Yeah.
mean, you didn't like. I didn't really mind her that much,
It
but
was, I don't know. She was just kind of annoying.
no, I mean, you like by all means be annoyed by her. She's, she basically talks down to you the entire time you exist. So, like if you
Yeah.
don't like being talked down to, I don't blame you. I just, I'm sitting here like too enamored by the entire like atmosphere of the game, being like, oh my god, this is so good, this is so amazing, where I just was like, I don't care, like say whatever you want to me, I don't give a shit,
Yeah.
like more of this please.
I mean, it was more of the fact that like every time you die, she'd be like, oh, you would hear like a faint that was hard to watch, and it's like, you
Oh
know what,
yeah,
bitch, fuck
she
you.
does make fun of you every time you die. That's really yeah,
And
that is true.
I died a lot, so
I mean, game's hard, I will admit. Like we'll go
I'm
over
playing
it in
on
the gameplay
normal.
section, but like, yeah, no, I
Playing
played it
on
on normal
normal,
too. I
too.
didn't play it on hard. I played it on the regular difficulty. But yeah, like, although I feel like if you play it on hard, you really gotta make
would-
your build work from the beginning. Like
Yeah.
I had a solid build by the end of the game when I was like fully flush with as many skill points as I wanted. Like, I could buy whatever I wanted basically. But
Yeah.
like, at the early stages of the game when you have like 4 or 5, you really have to like put something together that's worth using and not just like,
Yeah, you really
well,
have to,
whatever the
like,
fuck I want. I don't know what I'll see. But yeah, I don't know. I might have to go back and try that out, see what
yeah, I mean,
happens.
if you want to play the game again,
I mean, it's
No.
only like a 4-hour game. I know it says 5.5 hours, but like I spent a long time doing other stuff between levels, and my recordings come in at like 3.5 hours and 2 hours and 15 minutes. So like, and I want to say that I probably spent like 45 minutes AFKing through those recordings. So
yeah.
and like now that I've beaten it once, I could probably beat it again quicker. And
Quicker, yeah.
I
Well, 'cause
probably
you
Go
know
on.
how to do and what stuff does.
well, but also there is the speedrun mode where it's like just levels. You don't have any of the story to like, I guess, quote unquote bog you down.
Well, yeah, if you're trying to do that and if you're trying to do just play the game
yeah,
and you've already
For a
like if you've already
challenge.
done the story and you just want to play it without that.
yeah, I'm considering it, but yeah, I mean, we were talking about the music. Music is good. It's not anything like stellar. It's not something I would go and buy. You know what I mean? I wouldn't buy the soundtrack for
or
this
just
game.
like to listen to
Yeah. I think it's just
Probably has
basically your
basic like fight music and whatnot.
yeah, pretty much.
Unless it's unless it's like 10 out of 10 music and we're just like throwing it under the bus here.
Well,
and
no,
you
I
can't
mean,
hear
like,
it.
I don't think that's true, because if it was like this amazing 10 out of 10 music, we would have take note of it. There are definitely games that we've played where the music has been amazing, like just
True.
so good that we have
That
to
is
talk about
true.
it. And this is like neither of us really remember it. One of us
I
played
think
it literally today, and we don't,
I'm
you know.
yeah. I think it's more they focused on like graphics and other things than the music. They just put the music in there because it's like it can't be silent,
Well,
right?
yeah, I mean, like, I guess we could talk about the other sound design of like the guns feel really chunky and like really good to shoot
Oh
audio
yeah.
wise, and like the
Um,
weapons feel great if you get one of the big hammers and you
the
hit somebody
the
with it, they
hammers,
explode. Like,
the swords they swing and they like slicing sounds
yeah,
when
like
you know
everything else in regards to like the combat noises are really great,
really good. Yeah,
but like, I mean, I don't know, the music, I guess,
music's okay.
it's kind of like toward the
It's there.
bottom of the stack in terms of like what you're caring about when you're playing this game, because you're
As I said,
definitely
yeah. As I said, they probably focused on other things,
you're,
which
you
is
know,
fine. I mean,
honed in on not dying. So,
yeah, that's true.
but yeah, I mean, I guess we can briefly talk about the story. You're not done with it yet, but
I'm
I
not
I don't know
done,
whether you'll finish it or not, but I won't
but
spoil the
I
ending because I think
might
it's worth experiencing.
um
Um
I
but
might finish it when I'm not on a
basically
time crunch. But yeah,
you like enter the game and you're a dude with a little mask on and you're like, oh, okay, this is weird. um
yeah, they kind of
and
just throw you in.
yeah, they kind of throw you in, and like then you have to go through the most annoying tutorial of all time. like
Yeah,
like without a doubt the worst tutorial I've ever played in a video game, bar none. I'm not even joking. Like, if they remove the tutorial from this game, it would bump this game up significantly,
or
in my opinion.
or like just like make the tutorial better, or
Or
just
might like change it, obviously. And like the reason why I'm saying this is because you go in and immediately your head gets hacked and like everything changes. And you're like, okay, that's weird. And so you're going through
yeah.
and literally every like, I don't know, 10 seconds, screen flashing, like bright flashes. My
Hmm.
screen is brightness is turned. I had to turn it down a while ago because I realized it was hurting my eyes. Um, I just turned it down to like 30 or something like that. And even with a 30 brightness on my screen, my eyes were
That's
killing me
ridiculous.
by the end of the tutorial. It's like
Yeah.
I had headaches from the flashing in this tutorial. Like if
There's not even like a warning either of this game at the beginning of this game. There's no like epilepsy warning or anything.
Yeah, well, I think we spoke about it in text where I said I don't think there's a warning, but there is a screen where you have to adjust your brightness,
Yeah,
which is
yeah, but
akin to most
that
horror games.
yeah, but
Um, but the
that's not
purpose
a
of
warning.
no, it's not. The purpose of that for like horror games is um so that like you don't see things in the dark from far away,
Yeah,
you
that you're
know,
not supposed to until
that you're
the
not supposed to see until they're on top of you, sort of thing. Whereas
yeah,
this game, it's so that the flashing lights don't like scald your
murderize
eyes.
you. Yeah.
So like take it seriously. Uh, that being said, I I feel like we should be inclined to say like if you are an epileptic, don't
Yeah,
play this
warning,
game or
don't
like
play this.
have somebody else beat the beginning because it really is just the beginning.
Well, no, because every time it's like throughout the game because in the thing whenever you whenever it's like find your brother or something
Oh
and
yeah, I
it
guess you're right.
flashes with that too every time the girl talks to you
Well, I mean, I'd say that the little blinks
and like
whenever the girl
the
talks to you aren't bad, but the save your brother like flashing things on the screen that are
yeah, every
bright
time you
is
press
pretty
tab
annoying.
for your objective and every time your objective like changes it flashes that and it's just like can you
Yeah.
just not
That's definitely it like the biggest criticism I will give this game after I'm finished like heaping all this praise on top of it is the fact that the tutorials like the tutorials flashing lights are the worst thing, and then throughout it gets better but not by much.
Yeah.
Okay, so the story, we're rambling off track here. You have to
Right.
it's fine. I'm enjoying like that's the point. Um the story is, you go in and you're like, "Oh no, I was hacked." And then you get like hacked again by this other girl, and like she doesn't really have a name, I don't think. She's just like
Mm,
girl. Some
yeah.
chick.
She's called Her.
Yeah,
Is
or
what it
her.
says in the
I don't
trailer.
know.
I
She doesn't
don't
really have a name.
really care.
Um and like she's like, "Oh, by the
Unknown
way,
girl.
yeah, these people hate you. You should go kill them." And you're like, "Okay." And so you do. You go in and you're like chasing after the guy that initially hacked you, and like you find out that they have your brother, and you're like, "Oh, okay, so we have to got to go save him." And she's like, "Yeah, you got to go save him." And like, I don't know if you were like kind of sussed out at the beginning here, but like,
Yeah, a little, because it's kinda like, "Okay, well, why are you helping me, lady? What are you
right, like,
doing?
what
Your
investment
plan."
do you have in like me or my brother? That the like her being so invested in needing to find the main character's brother was kind of, it was a little sussy to me. Um
Yeah.
Now obviously I know the reason, but I won't tell you because
Yeah, that's
it's
fine.
important to the ending and making the ending actually land. Um which I think it really does. I think the ending is really nice. I think it completes very easily, and I think you can see it telegraphed once you get toward the end of the game. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, the story is, in my opinion, quite basic. There isn't too much going on other than like your prime, I guess, objective is like you first destroy a gang, and then oops, they are now following you. Then you go,
Yeah.
you fight some like low level CEO that runs a shitty company. You oops, now you're enslaving this guy to do what you want. Like, and then you
Yeah.
go and you fight the third major boss, and that is, I guess I can say it's not too much of a spoiler. It's this like person who has infused itself into a mother unit, and
Oh, okay.
or well, these two people that infuse themselves into this mother unit, so they become this like cyborg hybrid thing, and
Okay.
which is totally within cyberpunk, like
Mhm.
everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
Uh, and they work for the person who has your brother, basically, and they're like, we're gonna kill you because we must. Um, and like it's really like the area that they're in is called hell, and you'll find out why, and it's like a really cool take on that sort of situation. I really liked it. It's the next level that you're going to, so you'll find out soon enough. It's really weird and really cool, but really weird. um
Okay.
and then the final part of the game, obviously you'll find out that, and then it's done. But yeah, it doesn't really have a whole lot of stuff going on. Even like a lot of cyberpunk media that you consume has a very like punk, you know, anarchy, smash the system style of like message or aesthetic or vibe, and like
Yeah.
this doesn't really have
I
that.
mean, it kinda does. It has, like, a you know, you're fighting against the big corporate the man, you know?
Well, yeah, I mean,
I mean,
that's true, but like it's not because like screw that guy in particular because he's above us. It's like he has wronged you personally. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like I feel like
Bit
there's a
different.
difference. Like if if Jeff Bezos like busted into your house himself with his shiny bald head and was like, "All right, I'm taking your mom," like, and he just like crab walks out of your house like carrying your mom, and like you're gonna go
Like, "What
buy
the
a
fuck,
gun and
man?"
find him. Like it's not like screw Amazon. It's like, nah, dude. Like you took
And
my
also
mom. Like I'm coming for your ass. Like
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I feel like that's a completely different motivation than like, oh, you own all the wealth while we all like live in squalor. We got to burn the whole system down because screw that. Like, no, that's not
No.
that's not the vibe I got at all, which is like, I mean, did you play Cyberpunk 2077?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, I mean, like
That's the vibe in that,
that's definitely the
for
vibe.
sure.
You talk to anybody who lives in like,
Just
go
yeah,
ahead.
just like anything that Mr. Johnny Silverhand says.
Oh yeah, pretty
It's
much.
easy.
Keanu Reeves, uh, him, and then like you talk to anybody who's like, man, screw all those corpos living up life. Well, we have to live down here in the dirt. Like, oh, if I had a gun, I'd
Mhm.
shoot them or something like that. And it's like, yeah, okay, you know, like, yeah,
Yep.
cool. But
Yeah, fuck those guys.
this game, I don't think it really has that sort of same vibe. It's like I'm
I mean,
a trained killer who's gonna go do my trained killer thing to like save my brother.
unless
So
it's like the girl is the one who's the like one who wants to take down the corporations and stuff, and
you're just a pawn being moved.
you're just there.
I mean,
And they happen to have your brother as well, so I don't know.
I
You
guess you're
are
gonna have to find out
you
now,
already
won't you?
know, so yeah.
Um, but yeah, I
I'm
mean,
just
I will
speculating.
say like the story is like it's maybe like a 6 out of 10 for any of the stories that we've played. Like even Grime, like way back at Grime, I'd say that Grime has like a much more interesting story because they leave a lot of it up to
Yeah,
just like environmental,
interpretation. Yeah,
interpretation. So whereas this is like,
yeah. This is
okay,
this.
yeah, whatever. Like let's go like club people to death. Like
And
whatever.
Turnip Boy even had probably a
Yeah, yeah. You're not wrong. I mean,
hell yeah. Love Turnip Boy.
Turnip Boy is at the end of this, I'm really I talk about this now, and I think I've said this before, but like we're gonna have to come up with a like greatest, like a top 3 or a top 5 of the year, like bottom 3, bottom 5 of the year, like in
I can tell
review.
you
And I have a feeling Turnip Boy is gonna be at least top 2 for one of us,
at least
at
maybe two. I
least.
don't know.
Like
At least one. Yeah.
anyway,
Gotta.
gameplay. I think this is where
Yeah.
we're gonna differ heavily.
Gameplay.
Um, like I said before, I don't play twin stick shooters, but this one, I loved this one. Like
Yeah.
I found the controls to be extremely intuitive, and like I never had a time where I was unable to do what I wanted. There was times where I was like, what the fuck, how did I die? Because I didn't understand an enemy mechanic, or I made a mistake and I didn't realize like if I dash over to this thing, it's gonna like stab me to death and I'll explode, But
Yeah.
I know you don't have the same experience.
Well, as I said before, the movement wasn't too good for me because of the like diagonal, etc. But like the 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 like combat was off because of it for me. It was also quite hard,
Well, yeah, it is quite hard.
but
Well, I mean, I think you didn't really enjoy the gun play in this game. And so
well,
you've been doing a lot of melee, right?
no, the thing is I only like had just started the melee because of like just in the one level because I couldn't hit anything because they were all teleporting around. That was the reason I was doing melee. I was doing gunplay before that because like shit wouldn't just disappear from where you're shooting and just teleport
Yeah.
behind you and shoot a shotgun in your back.
Yeah. I mean, that is a pretty common thing to happen.
And it is now because they introduced that mechanic.
Well, I mean,
But like the guns were good. I was fine with that. So it was just like well, first off, I'm gonna say the like base gun, I not good, not good.
He's gonna say it fucking sucks, dude.
It sucks.
And
I'm
that's
gonna say it,
okay.
and I'm gonna not take it back.
No,
Uh,
like, dude, by all means.
I mean, unless it gets better when you get the little upgrade for it, but like
But the thing is
I don't know.
okay, like this is where we're disagreeing heavily because I started being like, all right, I'm gonna do melee because I always play these games melee, and then I used the gun and I'm like, this is really good. Like this feels really good to use, and I never ever stopped. I stopped for one boss and used melee on the boss because like it's basically necessary. Like you literally cannot stop to shoot him. You have to do dash slices with your sword.
I
Like
mean, unless the gun is like pretty good. I don't know. I didn't really use it all that much because like most of the
Well,
time twin stick shooters the like base gun you start with that has infinite ammo is like
really
really
bad.
trash damage. So it's like, okay, this is just we'll just give you this so you have an infinite gun, right?
Well, and yeah, and that's what it feels like
And
at the
it's like
beginning.
garbage, so it's like technically you can do the game with this. Like if you run out of ammo on the guns that you pick up, you have a backup,
See, my
like a
thing is
sidearm.
with these sort of games is
But
I
like,
always hate the limited like limitedness of the guns that you pick up. It
yeah,
frustrates me. And because it's like, oh, all right, so you've got 35 bullets in a magazine for this automatic rifle. And those bullets do 1.5 times damage than your base gun. Okay. And you're like, oh, that's really good. And it's like, oh yeah, also I forgot to tell you.
you're gonna
The
miss
bullets, well,
half of
no,
these
the
bullets.
bullets, they shoot faster than your base gun. Oh, that's cool. So I'll land a lot more shots. You're like, yeah. Oh, but you can never reload this gun. Okay, so that should be fine, right? No.
No,
That sucks. That sucks a
no,
lot to me. I would rather play around like a crappier gun to where I know I can like plan my movement with the reloads
hmm
than have 35 bullets and then I drop down to a different kill rate. Because I will, like in these sorts of games or in most games, I'm planning my movement and I'm planning my like in Isaac. If I'm playing Isaac, I am planning my movement around being able to kill certain enemies at certain times so that they never fire something, or if they fire something, I know I
yeah,
can move out
or
of the way. But
mhm,
if I have uneven tiers to where like one tier never hits and then one tier hits, like it's it's completely like inconsistent and everything gets thrown out the window and I take more damage than I should. You know what I
yeah.
mean? That's
Is
why
this sorry, keep
no,
going.
no,
Go
no,
ahead.
go ahead. I'm done.
Um, is this a like a similar problem that you had with Severed Steel?
Maybe. Um I don't
Because I don't actually remember if you get a base gun in that game,
I
but
don't
like all the guns
believe you
in that
do.
game were also like this, where it's like you have X amount of magazine, and then once it's gone, you can't use that gun.
Well, I think like I guess I would say it's slightly different because there was no base gun in Severed Steel. If there was, I probably would have 100% used that over like everything else
Yeah, yeah,
because consistency is key for me.
yeah.
Um whereas like I don't know, like like there were some guns where like you got 2 shots and it was done in Severed Steel. I threw those away immediately. Like
Um, I mean, honestly, I probably used the base gun more than I think because of just like me not noticing that I ran out of gun.
yeah, I mean obviously, well cuz I think that's the point obviously. But like I don't
Other than
know.
the shotguns were like I would take one of those every time.
Yeah, the shotguns were pretty good. I don't know if you've definitely run into orange enemies. They're like weird orange enemies that
Fuck those guys.
they're like elites and they don't really like to
They're
take
like
damage.
they like
Um
they're like they look like they're on fire.
yeah, but like it's a shield basically
Yeah.
is what it is.
It, Those guys can burn in hell.
So I actually, by the end of the game, I figured out how they worked, and I'll tell you. And this will make everything significantly easier to deal with. Obviously, not in the section that you're at because the enemies like they have the same number of dashes as you do. But I'll tell you how they work so that you don't have as many problems. That orange shield comes back, but
Oh yeah, I knew that already.
that's the majority of their health. You know that? So if you shoot
Yeah.
them enough to deal like shield health like number,
hmm
and then you run away because you have to reload or you're about to die or they're cutting your head off, like they're just going to regen that health.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Yeah.
I figured this out in literally what I was playing today. The like long ass battle before
Shadow. Yeah.
Like literally right before Shadow.
So the easiest way to
found that
deal
out.
with them is either like a minigun
Um,
or a like laser
You-
gun with a high battery.
you fucking dash behind them in Omaromo Shinderu.
Yeah, or
and
that.
chop their head off. Which is what
Uh,
I did because
Alternatively, there is a skill that is a Q skill, which is the same as your, or maybe a spacebar, whatever the shield is bound to.
shield is spacebar.
That is called overload, which sends you into an overload state, which like it basically like doubles your damage and speed, right? At the cost of an upfront energy cost and an energy over time cost. But like that cost becomes basically nothing
The more you upgrade it.
the more you upgrade it. So like once I found this skill and started using it, you combine it with, like I said, there's a gun skill that makes it so whenever you shoot and hit enemies, it will either, I think it's either it like drops energy drops around you, or it just straight up recharges your energies, right?
Mm.
You just combine those two and you just like, you literally double your damage and speed just all the time.
Mm.
Yeah. It's like, oh,
I don't know. When
Interesting.
I played this, I didn't think the like the skills and stuff were gonna matter all that much, but now that I play it more, they're
Oh,
definitely
yeah.
like
well, and like, here's the
super
other thing,
useful.
right?
I thought that it was just like, oh yeah, you get this, and it's like if you want to use this stuff, you can. But no, it's basically like you have to.
So here's another thing. There's a skill that you can turn on that is a health recharge.
Yeah, I know.
So the way you make that one good is it will reload guns for you. Like if you're using a shotgun, you kill an enemy while that's on and your health is full, it will reload your shotgun.
Hmm.
But you have to
That's
fully
good to know.
invest in it. And so if you find a gun that you really like a legendary version or an epic version of your gun, like the blue or orange versions, and you have that, and you can consistently get kills with that, with the gun shooting ability that recharges your energy, just turn it on in battle, and you'll never run out of ammo.
That's nice.
And I was like, oh, I see it now. Like there's so many different things that you can do. Like the other thing
Yeah.
where if you turn on your shield and you charge into enemies, you charge into them and then you just club the crap out of them with your big sword.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, like you have the highest damage in the game.
If you charge into them with their shield on, it stuns them.
Mm-hmm. Well, and then they can't do anything, and then you just like
Then you just
murder them,
cut 'em off.
easily. And it's like there's so many like different builds that you can do. Like obviously, I use the most offensive, offense heavy, speed based, dodging based gun build. But like as I was exploring some of them, like there's a skill to throw out like a barrier, and like if enemies move through the barrier, they get
They,
like
like, slow
frozen.
down.
Yeah, it's basically like a
frozen.
freeze, right? And so like, and then like the last skill of that is you get 3 of those to throw out before they recharge.
Mhm.
You can be really offensive with that, and like and like throw it at them at a close range and then dash through them and like cut them up. And it's like, oh, like there's
Yeah.
so many things that you can do with all of these skills in combination with each other. And like, once you figure out a broken combo, like game gets significantly easier. Though I will say that not everything is accessible from the beginning. You do need certain karma levels
Yeah, you need to
in order
level
to
up.
unlock things. So like,
Yeah.
you can't just like rush to the end of a tree and then rush to the end of the tree and be like, oh, it's level 6 out of like 30. I'm broken. Like, no, you can't do that.
No, you have to play through it. You have to build it as you go.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of unfortunate, but like, I don't know. I
I mean,
think it's cool. It's very good. Like, there's a
played
lot
the
of
game
cool shit.
multiple times, you know what you want.
Right. There's a lot of cool shit in this game.
But also, you can take points out at any time.
Oh yeah, I guess that's
of
worth
a tree.
mentioning.
Like there's no like once it's in like a talent tree. No, you can like literally change your build on a whim.
Yeah, like literally in combat.
Yeah, you literally in combat.
It's
You
very
can press
funny.
Go in your inventory stat screen and just change
Add
it.
or change whatever you want, basically.
Which is, I mean, that's pretty good. But that's like, I assume that's like what they wanted.
Yeah.
That is because it's like,
well, and like even if it wasn't that way, I would feel good about it. Even if it was like
yeah,
you have to pay some amount of like whatever the fuck currency you get, which obviously there's no
You don't-
currency in this
don't get
game,
any.
which is great.
other than karma, which is experience. But
Well, yeah, karma's experience, but the fact that there's no currency in this game, I think I feel like is worth mentioning. That like you
Yeah, there's
don't
no-
gather money and like buy new guns. You
Mhm.
just kill people and take their gun,
yeah,
and then you can grinder
like,
them for more experience.
if you're like fighting an enemy with this powerful gun, just you kill them and you take that gun and yeah, you have that gun now. I mean, until it runs out of ammo.
Yeah, until it runs out of ammo. I guess I will bring up one other thing that is why the base gun is so good. You never pick up any other guns, so you get more experience whenever you grind everything on the map.
Yeah, true.
Which I mean, to be honest, I mean, I looked at my footage, and when we were talking about it before the recording, I was
Yeah,
a
you
level
were
up on
level-
you.
Yeah, you were.
So I mean, like that was only 2/3 of the way through the game. But if I do that throughout the whole game, like I feel like that probably adds up.
Yeah, for sure.
But not saying one way is better, worse than anything else. I mean, obviously, the
Play what you
guns were
like.
made to be used. But yeah, I don't know. Do you want to like talk about how many guns there are in this game? Like a surprising number of different gun
yeah.
varieties.
There actually is a surprising like different amount of guns.
That all do
Like-
like different, like really different things.
Yeah, there's like there was like lasers, there was like submachine guns, there was pistols,
Yeah.
which I didn't show up very
Shotguns.
often. Shotguns, like different kinds of shotguns too.
There was
There was
like
a fire shotgun. It shot bullets that lit them on fire.
there was like
there
a
was a
grenade launcher
flamethrower.
that looked like a shotgun. I don't know if you ever used that.
There was a grenade launcher that was like basically an auto shotty.
Yeah, really annoying.
But there
Gotta
was
be honest.
Also, an actual grenade launcher.
Yeah.
That shot grenades, which was like
Thankfully.
literally the best weapon in the game. Because it just one shot everything. As I said, there was lasers. There was this there's like energy weapons.
Yeah, like one gun that
There's
I
different-
really liked a lot was called the Electra, which just shot like a ball of energy that
Oh yeah, I got that. I think that was right after Shadow. He
yeah,
drops that.
where it just like
it was like
eats whatever it hits. It just,
it just
cuts
shoots
through
like
them.
electric balls.
Yeah.
There's
Melee weapons.
different elements.
Well, there's a bunch of different melee weapons too.
Yeah. There's the one you start with is like you start with like a metal pipe.
Yeah.
And then later you get an upgrade to that basically
Which is it's
as
like
your
the first
permanent base
boss, I
weapon.
believe. Right?
Um,
I think it's the after the
it,
first boss you
pretty much it's
major
you get like a
boss.
sword,
Yeah.
which is like a permanent upgrade to your
Now
base weapon.
one thing I was gonna ask,
Um,
because I only picked up like one like actual melee weapon and never really went back to them because I liked the gun so much.
Yeah.
If you picked up a melee weapon, would it take over your melee weapon slot, or would it take
Yes.
over your, and then you could switch to
No.
a gun?
Yeah, it's like it's like if you picked up a gun, like a gun that ran out
Yeah,
of
it would
ammo.
cover over
It
the
would
ruiner,
cover the ruiner, which is
the base
the
gun.
name of the base gun.
It's also the name of the game. No, I'm kidding. Well, I'm not kidding. You know what I mean. But
yeah, it would take over, and it has like a durability.
yeah. Well, I'm just wondering because I never really touched them. And so I wasn't sure if it was like I could have grabbed a really good melee weapon and used it for like specific things that were really good for melee, like the angel units or those
melee was not good on those.
energy like blaster AoE things where it was like pull out hammer, smash object, pull out gun, shoot enemy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the melee was really good against the vampires, which was the energy sucky
guys with their little
like,
energy guns, the red ones.
No,
have you fought those guys yet? Maybe you haven't.
No, probably not. I'm just talking about the like things that like pulsed and like took your energy.
Oh yeah. The little yeah. Those things.
The melee was really good on those because
because they had a weird hitbox.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest. The angels had like a combo that was good on them. You shoot the eyeball to make them drop the cores, and then the melee was really good.
Really good. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is like just go around meleeing the cores, just dash melee.
They just broke right on one hit.
Yeah, it's really good.
But yeah, there's different melee weapons. There's big swords. First off, there's one-handeds and two-handeds. Because that's a differentiation from one of the skills is like power attack.
Hammers, I never.
You get hammers. You get like a flaming baseball bat. You get big swords. You get a fire sword. You get an ice sword. These are like laser swords.
Yeah, I might have to.
There's a lot of stuff to play with.
I might have to do a melee run.
You get
pretty soon. Because like, yeah, I didn't touch like any of this stuff. And like, there's so many skills for it.
Laser, you get fire laser, you get fire shotgun, you get electric.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch. It's like surprisingly like.
There's actually like a sound gun too, or like a sonic gun.
Oh yeah,
neat. I used that like once or twice, and I'm like,
this gun sucks.
This is not good. I don't want to use.
I'm like, okay, so what you're telling me is this is a shotgun, and I'm like, and they're like, yep. And so what you're telling me is I need to be close to enemies in order to kill them with it. And the game's like, yep. And I'm like, all right, so this is worthless.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, why don't I just hit them with my sword? I don't understand.
I don't want this at all.
So
but yeah, a lot of guns to play around with. I mean, a lot of guns if you don't do what he does.
Well, I mean, like I played with pretty much all of them. Like I played with them. I just didn't like I didn't grab a gun as often as I could because like there's so many guns in this game where you can go through the entire game basically never using your base gun, always picking things up. I thought that the base gun was really good once you invested in it. And like it really was, especially using overload where like the overload makes your reload speed basically nothing. So you're just shooting forever, right? And you can't get that with any other gun.
Yeah.
The only other gun you could do that with that I found was really just like the minigun where like it was like 200 rounds where you could pump it out so fast because the windup was nothing with the overload. So like, yeah, I think that this, I don't know. There are many ways to play the game. There are many ways to build your character, many guns to use, many weapons to use, and they're all valid
Yeah.
except for that stupid sound gun that nobody
The
likes,
Sonic
or the
gun
sonic
can-
gun that nobody likes.
Just leave that alone. Don't touch that.
But yeah. All right. Well, any final thoughts for this game?
Shadow can suck my dick.
Yeah. Well, you haven't even gotten to the next guy, so you know.
That's
alright.
fine. I don't really care about him right yet.
I'll have to record you ranting about that guy. I'll insert screenshots of you texting me and being like, "This guy's the worst. He's even worse than the Shadow. Oh, I hate him so much." And put that in there because he's like genuinely like, "Oops, I got hit by his attack and got one shot." Oh well.
That's what Shadow felt like. He just aimbotted you the whole time. Like, no matter where you dashed to, he just fucking shot you.
It wasn't that bad.
Whatever.
It couldn't have been that bad. I'm just kidding. It was pretty annoying. I'll be honest with you. But yeah, I think that about covers it. The next game.
Yeah.
Oh no, we're not. Give me a number between 1 and 10.
I would say it's a pretty good 8.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. It's just that like area was a little frustrating.
You're like,
it was the one fight that like had like 2 elites, and they just kept teleporting around.
Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong. Like, I definitely don't like
elites
that.
also do a lot of damage and take a lot of not damage. They just wouldn't die, and they just kept killing me over and over. And then the Shadow fight, which was the most annoying at the moment. And it was, but otherwise, like, it's a fun game.
Okay.
I enjoy playing.
I just, I wasn't.
I mean,
I didn't know.
You weren't expecting that.
The way that you were talking about it before, you were definitely like, I don't like this game.
No, I say that every time though when I'm having a bad time. This game fucking sucks. I hate this game. It's a piece of shit. No, that's just me being mad.
It's all right. You can be mad. I mean, it's it's pretty easy to get worked up to whatever things are.
Not 8. I'm gonna move it down to like a 7 then. Like I'm
rate whatever you want, but
7 is probably more of a.
I was gonna give this a 9.5.
Yeah,
but I'm dropping it down to a 9 because of the intro, because of all the flashing lights and the fact that there's no option to turn that shit off. That is so annoying.
Or a warning.
Well, like, warnings be damned, dude. I can't turn it off. Like, if you had no warning, but if you had an option in your settings to turn off the flashing lights, game's at 9.5 or a 10. Like, it's so good for me. But everything else is like, what am I supposed to do? You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna have a headache by the end of the tutorial. Like, that's so not great. So I don't know. I really want to give it a higher score, even though 9 is a pretty high score. So, but yeah, I don't know. All right, what's the next game we're playing? Are we gonna stick to the one we talked about, or you want to do something else?
No, this one's fine.
Okay, so we're gonna play The Vanishing of Ethan Carter Redux. Well, I don't think there's anything different between the Redux and the original.
I don't actually know what kind of game this is.
This is a detectives game, I believe.
Oh, okay, good.
It's like a walking simulator type thing.
Hopefully it's not like whatchamacallit.
No, it's not. I have seen things about this game.
What was that game? Fucking
Saturnalia. No?
Yeah, I hope it's not
Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
No, I have seen things about this game where it says you play the game as Paul Prospero, an occult-minded detective who receives a disturbing letter from Ethan Carter. And you go like, it's not like a puzzle game. It's kind of a like walking simulator, point and click type, like go find this. Oh, it's gives you this bit of story and information. All right, now go find that. I like. I don't believe it says that there's some horror in it. It says key features experience in a non-linear fashion, a story that combines the pleasures of pulp, private eye, and horror fiction. But I don't believe that there's actually any like horror aspects.
It's like a interactable story, basically.
Yeah, I think that I think that it actually is just like the story itself has like horrific ideas or like potentially disturbing ideas, not necessarily like actual
horror.
I mean, I guess, you know, like the way you think of horror, like what is it called? Amnesia: The Dark Descent or Soma, you know, where you know, Monster Chase or you know, any of those style games where like
whatever you would think of when you say horror.
Yeah, or like you know, it's like Resident Evil. You know, it's not like that where, you know, you got to like go kill a big monster. You know, it's like this is a detective story.
It's just horror themes.
Yeah.
Or like
ideas.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Ideas.
Okay. You know, this is no Dead Space.
Cries.
Yeah. Dies in stress headache.
You anyway, not me.
But yeah, I mean, if it is horror, then I'll just have to like crap my pants and get through it.
Yeah. I mean, it's only a few hours.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, I think that about wraps it up.
Yep.
Thank you so much for listening.
Yeah, thank you.
Until next week. I know this is not going to be when it comes out, but it is the holiday season, so happy holidays to you and to everyone else. Yeah, Merry Christmas. You'll get this Merry Christmas about 6 months too late, or sorry, 6 weeks too late. But yeah, thank you guys so much. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.